Hey guys, welcome to the Model Citizen Podcast. We're your hosts, Hunter and Michaela. We are so excited to have you here. All right, let's dive in. Guys, we are settling in. Welcome.
Welcome to the first, this is our millionth.
Yeah, but this is like a slumber party vibes.
Yeah, we're giving slumber party vibage. You guys, we are, obviously, this is like an in your seat, in your lap.
An in your bed podcast.
In your bed podcast. And we're coming at you live from Hunter's bedroom.
The decor is not very Model Citizen-esque, but
literally you cannot live in a room of neon lights, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you cannot unless you're a teenager. Yeah. We're excited, you guys. We just came off of like the craziest week together.
Literally insane.
We told you guys a couple weeks ago that we were going to the White House.
Presidential.
We're freaking presidential with it. And we did just that.
Cadet Kelly. Yeah.
Cadet Kelly.
Camp Rock.
Camp Rock.
Yeah, you guys, we were at the White House. It was so crazy. We went with March 4th, which is an incredible organization that is lobbying to get the Go Safe Act passed again. It was already passed in 1994. If you guys look it up, definitely check it out, look up, everything about it. It is really important that you do, and I hate to say do your own research because it's giving, you know what it's giving, but do your own research and look it up and understand what it is and what it isn't, Mm-hmm. But it was definitely like a very, very powerful, very impactful day for us. We were able to.
Well, let's take you back.
Yeah, we'll take you back. I know. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're like wrapping it up.
I'm wrapping up. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
It was great. And that was all.
And it was so cool. All right. Love you guys. Bye. No, okay. Yeah. We'll go back.
Let's take it back. So right off the bat, Michaela flew in on, was it Wednesday?
On Tuesday. Yeah.
And the day after we drove to Washington, D.C. So from where I live, it's like, it took us about 3.5.
Also, this is giving YouTube video, isn't it? Doesn't it feel like a YouTube video?
Yeah, I love it.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to our channel.
Oh my God. If we lived together or like close to each other, we probably would have a channel.
You guys, do we do a channel? Do we do a YouTube channel?
A far away.
Just such a, like the most difficult, challenging. Also, guys, Hunter has a new neighbor.
Okay, Kayla just clocked my new neighbor. Is he still out there?
Yeah, he's like getting his cat.
His cat?
Yeah, he has a cat. He just let his cat out to walk around and now he's let her back in.
Kayla's like literally clocking my new neighbor. He's standing. I hope they're not like listeners, but he is fully tattooed.
Listen,
he came out with his shirt off, to be fair.
He came out with his shirt off and he's literally ripped and he's got tattoos everywhere. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm a red-blooded American woman. I'm going to look at the man.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
He was also looking back at us. So it's like, we're all just like.
To be fair, though, we have lights on in this room and we look like crazy people.
It's giving OnlyFans going on in here.
100%. He's looking at us going, and we're looking at him going, and we're
like, why don't you just come over at this point? Just kidding.
I have yet to meet my new sweet neighbors. I hope they decorate for Halloween and other holidays. Okay.
God help them if they don't.
God help them if they don't, because, dude, I need more people to show up here. And I will say it is mid-September and my area is
so magical here,
already getting fallified. Like people are already have their skeletons up, they have their decorations up, and not us getting so far off topic.
Are the trees paid actors at this point is what I want to know. Like, do you physically, like, what do you do to make this happen?
Dude, it just simply happens. So guys, okay, so we drove to Washington, D.C. And when I say we drove, I say Michaela drove to Washington, D.C.
I did. Because little sisters never take a day off. I'll tell you that much right now. Little sisters never, y'all don't take days off, do you? You stay little sisters forever.
Ironically, I got a floater in my eye.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a floater is, it's like when you get like a little wiggly line in your eye, and I just simply couldn't drive.
Literally the worst. Yeah. So she was like, hey, can you tap in? And I was like, sure, I'll tap in for like a half hour. Ended up driving the whole 4 hours.
Well,
but at least it was fair and she drove the whole way back. Wait, no, she didn't. I also drove the whole way back while being super sick. We're going to get there. Okay. So
I drove an hour and a half. Anyways.
Hour and a half of a 6-hour drive, by the way. It was literally a 6-hour drive.
Being a 6-hour drive. Anyways,
so we drove to DC.
We got off. Right off the bat, we got some food, and we have beef with DC. Here's the thing.
So much beef.
Okay. Oh god, we have so much to get into, from like the hot Secret Service to like the food. Okay.
Oh god.
Okay. So we got off. We got some food. The food at DC, guys. Every place we went to was mid. Like, I don't understand.
Trash. Yeah.
I mean, not trash, but mid. Like, it was eatable. But it wasn't like
edible.
It was
eatable. We were able to eat it.
But it was like not.
It wasn't the best we've ever had.
That's for damn sure.
It wasn't even like the middest I've ever had.
Right.
It was just a little below mid, which is disappointing because I've been to DC and I'm kind of a DC stan. So I was a little disappointed. I don't know if we just weren't hitting the hot spots.
I thought we were, but I don't know.
We tried.
Everything was coming up mid.
Everything was coming up mid.
So we got to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
The hotel was okay. It was unaccommodating.
Very unaccommodating for an accommodation, if you know what I mean. I mean, truly, very unhospitable for hospitality.
But I will say this. You were saying that it is very much so tailored to like a man staying there. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, a hotel when they're tailored to a woman, you go into the bathroom, there's makeup removing wipes, there's like cotton balls, things like that. Yeah. This hotel had like shoe shine services, but like no cotton balls or, you know, things like that, which adds up, right? In DC, I guess.
For sure.
So that was one thing.
Yeah. Because DC is obviously very like tailored to like the working man, I guess. I feel like it's sort of like this hotel specifically was probably tailored to like a sort of a bygone era of like men in politics. Like, why do you have a shoe shine service, but like you don't offer cheese pizza?
Oh yeah, we ordered cheese pizza. Yeah, dude, we're never gonna let them live this down. We ordered cheese pizza. And they were like, we only have margarita. And
they only had like 5 different kinds of pizzas and they couldn't do cheese pizza. Which made no sense.
Michaela was convinced that it's because they were frozen.
Yeah, because why can't you just not add the things because they're already on there? That's why, because it was frozen.
But then later we had their pizza and it was very good. So
it was very good. I was just that it was all very topsy-turvy. So anyway.
There's some conspiracies around it, basically.
There's some, you know what they talk about? Conspiracies in DC. Really? I don't think we're talking about the right ones.
I don't think we're talking about the right ones.
We're talking about like government conspiracies. We need to discuss the hospitality.
We're leaving out the important stuff.
Frozen pizza.
Yes.
This is the real hot topics, and I'm going to run on this.
Also, margarita pizza is basically cheese pizza. Just take off the basil. Anywho.
Okay,
so the next morning we wake up and we get ready to rumble, you guys. So this is the day that we're going to the White House. Right when we get there, you guys, we show up to the White House and like it's I don't understand who Biden and Kamala think they are hiring. And I have to say this quietly because my husband is above us. Quite literally some of like the most beautiful men to be Secret Service.
And here's the thing, like
I have photo evidence, you guys. Maybe we'll put it in the Patreon.
We'll put it in Patreon. Yeah, we'll put photo.
Ooh. I don't know if it's illegal. I don't want to dox the Secret Service.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll look into that. If we can, we will. If we can't, then obviously it won't be there. But just think of like a hot guy. Put him in a SWAT outfit, and that was what was going on.
And when we say there was not one that was not hot. Not one.
Like you think you see one guy and you're like, okay,
like,
that's
kind of cute. Like kind of like a man in uniform.
Like, oh, okay, wow, he just like happens to be hot. And then you go and there's like 2 guys checking you in to, you know, for all of your ID and everything. You're like, oh wow, like they're also so cute. That's so interesting.
I felt like
then the next thing you go to, literally so hot. Like I felt like I was in A Date with the President's Daughter. Like just a hot guy every turn.
I literally was like, this is a joke.
It was actually funny. And it was, I feel like all the women on tour were sort of able to like bond because at one point we all started looking at each other like
what's going on?
Are you noticing?
They were all like tall and buff and handsome and put together and in like Secret
Their
Service.
outfits,
They have their outfits. They have like they're like strapped with stuff and it says like Secret Service and you're just like anyway, so
we're just girls.
that we're just girls being girls, guys.
I'm just a girl.
And everyone was kind of looking at each other like even the guys were kind of like, what's going on? So that was that. We had to go through quite a security process. So to get into the White House, you have to, of course, do a background check, give your social, all that stuff. And then you have various security checkpoints. So you have to give your ID like 3 or 4 times, go through a couple metal detectors.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was intense. A dog. They had a dog.
They had a dog that you had to walk past. Like which is, I mean, obviously makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
But so that was very interesting because I was curious to see like how rigorous the process was going to be.
And it was rigorous.
Yeah. But it was so cool to be on these grounds and like even just walking through the doors, our tour guide, who was also in the Secret Service, who was also very cute. Of course, listen, when we say Secret Service, that equals cute. Hot guy. He was explaining to us that like those same doors are the doors that any guest, whether you are a prince or a king,
whether you're Bono, whether you're whoever it is, like you're gonna walk through those same doors because like no one is above going through that, like those doors, that entrance, that security. If you go to an event at the White House, like everyone goes through that entrance. So that was really cool just to like know that.
Very cool. And like the grounds are so perfectly manicured and so beautiful. And it's funny. So like you walk in, there's this really long hall and you start seeing these incredible portraits. Like the first one I think we saw was Hillary Clinton, which was like iconic. Just to see like, okay, that was her portrait that was painted. And it was obviously a young Hillary Clinton because it was when Bill Clinton was in office. And it was just so cool to see these portraits that are like going to be in history books. In person. Truly. Like one day those will be in museums where you can't like go that close to them. You know what I mean?
Right. That's so true. Yeah.
It's very cool. And then so what did we do after that? So then we checked out the rooms.
Yeah. So then we checked out like it's called the China room, which is where they put all the china. There was
And what's a little fact about the China room?
A little fact about the China room is that every president has used the china that's in that China room except for Donald Trump. He brings in his own china.
And then took it with him.
And then took it with him also after. So that just, he's really good at sharing.
Yeah, it was very interesting. The china was absolutely gorgeous too.
Absolutely gorgeous. The rooms were just magnificently appointed.
Yes. And it was so cool because it's like we saw the library, which was very cool.
Which was beautiful. It's like a dream. Like imagine if I could imagine reading an ACOTAR book in the corner of this like beautiful, like it was such just like there goes the baker with his ring like always. Like very like like very Beauty and the Beast bell, like like you take like a little ladder across it. Like it was so just like that vibe. It was so beautiful.
And it's so funny how like the decor is so like
it's so presidential.
It's so presidential and old school. And like I could just hear our mom going, oh, this whole place needs a
absolutely.
Mom would come in and make the place white and furry.
She would do like marl wood, and she would do like a beautiful, like all of the countertops would become like a marble.
Yeah.
And like
she would have Calcutta, marble tabletops.
She'd do her little Brittany McGrady of it.
So we got to see, get a peek in all these cool rooms. And what was really awesome is as we headed upstairs, we went to like the more prominent rooms where they hold, presidential meetings and they have their parties and stuff like that. And because it was a VIP tour, we got to like go past the ropes, which was very cool, and like go and really be immersed in all of this.
Yeah.
And it was so surreal. Like there was a picture of
Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. Yes. Theodore
Roosevelt. And what was really interesting was Teddy Roosevelt, your favorite.
As he's known to me.
We went to there's like one dining room that is very interesting. And here's a little fact about our guy, Abe.
Our boy, Abe.
His family donated that painting of his under the guides that it can be the only painting in the room. And honestly, that's a slay. Honestly.
Iconic. Cool, neat. And I would want to do that too.
I would want to do that. I would
I'd be like,
like,
I want to be the only one in the room. Also,
yeah.
so like kind of cunty of him.
No, 100%.
Kind of brat of him.
Of him and his family. His family is like holding on to that brattiness. And I love it.
Yes. It's kind of incredible.
So that was very, very cool. Also, it's funny. I actually thought it was going to be bigger.
The White House?
Yeah.
55,000 square feet. She wanted it bigger.
No, but like,
how much bigger do you want it?
It's big, but
we didn't get to see everything as well.
Well, we didn't get to see everything, but listen.
Because the rooms are original too. So it's like they didn't have a concept of like huge ballrooms.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like I think what's so crazy is that like I've seen bigger, or like I've been in bigger houses.
That's what she said, dude. I've seen bigger. Here's the thing. I have a theory, and I'm probably wrong, but I have a theory that the reason why the White House is not extravagant and big is because it's supposed to be like a house for the people and public servants, which is what you do when you're in government, right? I feel like it was almost a direct response to the fact that monarchs and kings had these grand palaces with these like ballrooms that were gigantic. And like,
yeah,
I feel like this was almost a direct response to be like, we are not that. We are not going to like let whoever's in here and in charge feel like they're a king of a palace and they're a king of a kingdom.
Yeah.
Like you are just a person who is like our representative.
Right.
And you're speaking for us, and like, don't get a fucking big head about it.
Also, I think that it's funny that we're literally talking like the White House is just a shack.
It's beautiful.
It's huge, but it is not as big as like, yeah, for sure. That could be very
well. I feel like in your mind you think it's going to be like,
I think it's going to be as big as the building we went after, right? Like in my mind, I'm like, it should be as that big. Whatever. What was that building called? Do you remember?
That was
it's where the VP does her work. And
yes, it's literally right next to the White House. Like you guys can't expect us to know the name of all these buildings, okay? Because we're not architects.
I expect you to know.
I know. There was a lot of stuff though. There was so many buildings and so many rooms and so many names, and it was just like, it was an onslaught of information. But
yes,
the point is that, yes, I thought it was going to be like much, I don't know. I guess also like because back in the day, it's not like people had like giant rooms. So of course the rooms aren't going to be gigantic. Yeah. But anyway, the point is that it was really cool. It was so cool to like be in something historic as somebody who is sort of like a history nerd. It was really cool to be in something like that. I never thought I'd be able to be in the White House. I had taken photos outside the White House. I had always been told that like you can either do like a generic tour or you can get like a special private tour. And the only way to get that is if you like know somebody or you get in. So I was like, I mean, what are the chances that that's going to happen for me?
Yeah.
And alas, here we are.
And
it was very cool to see that.
Such an honor, to see that and to experience that. And then
it got heavy.
Yeah, then it got heavy because then we went into where we were going to have our meeting. So there was a group of 40 of us?
At least.
Yeah.
Gosh, I think even more than
and
that.
Guys, this was people who not only was it like content creators, there was people in the entertainment industry, but then there was actual survivors. So there was parents.
Of gun violence.
Yes, there was parents there from Uvalde and Parkland and Nashville Covenant School. And we'll get into that in a moment. Mm-hmm. But so we were going to go and have our meeting with the Office of Gun Violence Protection.
Yes.
Or prevention. And we were going to meet with Greg Jackson and Rob Wilcox. They are the two that have, in the last year, this current president has appointed them to be the heads of this. There's also a girl there as well. We didn't end up getting to meet her. But so basically this meeting was to say like, hey, what is being done here, right? What have you guys done? What changes have been implemented?
Yeah. How can we help as creators with platforms? It was a really great like open conversation between us with Rob and Greg, and they shared a lot of great information about the strides that they have made and the changes that they have made and that they're trying to implement as far as gun violence and protection, things like that. Because obviously, like, that's something that we're very passionate about. That's the whole reason why we were there. We were there again with March 4th, which is trying to pass the Go Safe Act. And basically that is to ban the use of assault rifles and assault weapons, AR-15s, things like that. Of course, you guys know we're not here to take away any rights or amendments, but like nobody needs an AR-15. The whole point and the whole reason why we went is because we just very much feel like nobody needs this kind of weapon. They are made specifically to kill, and they are used in so many of the very violent mass shootings. And we just are very passionate about this. I think especially like you becoming a mom, you become even more like you have such a personal tie to wanting safer schools.
Yeah.
And
or just safer environments. Like,
just going to the freaking theater, dude. I want to be able to go to the theater and
or
not
grocery
be freaking
stores.
out. Yeah, exactly. So it's something that we're passionate about, and we definitely want to use our platform for. So that was really cool that we were able to do that and chat with them. But yeah, we can talk about kind of what they've accomplished so far.
What they, I wrote down some stats that were very interesting to me, and I think that would be very interesting to you guys as well. The biggest increase in history in homicides was the last year that Trump was in office, which adds up to me because we've now created this very divisive world. This is not a knock against Republicans versus Democrats. I've mentioned this on my platform before. It's become a three-party system. It is Republicans, Democrats, and Trump supporters. If you listen to this podcast, I can pretty much guarantee you're not like a hardcore Trumper.
Yeah.
And if you are, then like,
and let me just say, if I can, this act is bipartisan. So we had Democrats, we had Republicans, we had people from
ex-NRA members.
Like we had all kinds of people. We had people who are gun owners. We had people from all walks of life, basically, that are trying to pass this bill. And I think that that's really important to mention, is that it is bipartisan.
Yes.
So it's not like it's just the Democrats. It's not just the Republicans. Like it's literally just, and I think what's the stat? Like something like 80% of Americans believe that there should be like more protections against gun violence, things like that.
So exactly. And so basically, so back to like saying like how the last year that Trump was in office was the biggest increase in homicide. The lowest in history was the first year that Joe Biden was in office. So that's a very interesting juxtaposition. Yeah. What they were able to create was a safer state agenda. And the reason that this actually passed was because 15 Republicans co-sponsored and took that tough vote to get this passed. And I think that that is very eye-opening to see that this is not, just as Joe Biden declared it, it's not a political issue, it's a public health issue.
Right.
And no Democrat or Republican wants to see mass shootings.
No one listening to this wants that. And we know that. Like, we know that about our listeners, and we know that this can be such like a hot button topic, but our listenership is 99% female.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have so many mothers that follow us. We have so many just people who want a safer environment for their children. And at the end of the day, guys, it's like, we have the ability and we have these voices. And when I say we, I mean us and you guys. Like, we have the ability, we have the voices. This is our home, and we have every right to want it to be safe for ourselves and our families. And I understand that there's some people that, they want to chill in their rooms and on their phones, and they want to like keyboard warrior and all that. But we really think that, like, if you strongly believe in something, then you have to get out and actually do something about it, and like, so we feel very much galvanized. We felt very much like this was an opportunity for us to use our platform and our voice for something that really means a lot to us.
Yeah, and ways that you can take that energy is you can make phone calls to your representatives and your senators. And this actually makes such a huge difference, especially as we're coming on this, we're really approaching this upcoming election, and we have about 49 days now. It's really important because those very people that we select to be our senators and our representatives will make up the House and the Senate, which ultimately make these votes go into effect, right? Even if the president vetoes it, it still can go back to the House and the Senate, and there's a committee that then looks over the bill.
Right.
Anyways, all that to say, make your phone calls, tell them that you are against this, and you would like to see them co-sponsor the Go Safe Act, which basically means when you co-sponsor something that they're saying, yes, if this bill comes across our desk in the final moments, we will say yes on this.
Right. Yeah.
Which is very, very important. And making the call really does make an impact. You can actually head over to March 4th, and on their Instagram, if you click their story highlights, they have it highlighted there for you. They have a script for you, what to say for your representatives. They have a script for what to say to your senators. They also have a link that you can click and check out where your senators are, what numbers to call. So they really laid it out for you. It takes 2 seconds. They don't ask any other questions after that. There's nothing more than just, what's your zip code? And okay, thank you for calling. Very easy, makes such a huge impact. Another stat that I found was really interesting before we move on is that gun violence is not only the leading cause of death in children, but it's also the leading cause of newly disabled Americans. You know, that was such a staggering, all of these stats were very staggering.
Totally. And I will say one thing is like, when you meet the people and you interact with people who were directly impacted by mass shootings and by gun violence, it completely humanizes and it changes the game for you mentally, because you're literally looking in the eyes and talking to somebody who, one of the men that we spoke to, he had to literally throw his little brother and his son in a garbage dumpster so that he could make sure that they were protected and safe. And that was the closest thing to him. And he was running in bodies in the street. I mean, literally, like, and this man was literally tears sitting in front of us explaining this experience. And for a lot of us, it's like, these are just stories on the news or stories that we're seeing or things that we talk about at the dinner table. But when you see these people in person and you meet them, and we had the aunts of a little girl who was Jackie, who was a victim also of gun violence, that completely changes it for you, and you cannot help but want to get involved and do something. Listen, if anyone has better ideas, like, we're all ears. Everyone's all ears, but something has to get done.
I think the thing is it's not like multiple issues. This is like what March 4th has done is they've taken one issue and focused on that. So it can be digestible. It's like, okay, this isn't so crazy that like we're
not like taking over the whole, it's like it's bite size. It's like something that we can all focus to do. And it's a change that's very much within reach.
Yes. And honestly, like by the end of the night, so after that wrapped, we went back and we had, a dinner and really kind of celebrated the impact that we had made that day. Actually, in the earlier mornings, there was a group that went lobbying and they were able to secure 10 new co-sponsors, which is absolutely incredible. And
10 out of 20.
Monumental. So that was a really big win. And then also that same day, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris both posted about gun reform on their socials. So it just goes to show that, like, even if you feel like, speaking up isn't enough, like you're literally reaching the White House. And Kayla and I were talking, it's like after going to the White House, after like meeting these people, now I've been with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and kind of been in the world of it. And it's like, they're just people. They're just people and they want good things. I think, people inherently want good in the world, most people. And they're people that you can have conversation with. And I think that that's what a government was always meant to be. And I think that we as a culture have taken that as we have celebrity and really put them on this platform that is unreachable, untouchable. And that's just not how it's supposed to be, especially in government. And so I was telling Kill, like, I'm like, wow, they're just people.
They're just like us.
Like even the
government
guys,
officials are just like us.
And it was just, it was a very incredible day. It was emotional by the time we got done. By the time we went to the party, I told Kayla, I was like, I feel so Like I was holding it together. Hearing these stories from people, I had a hard time like really holding it together. I needed like almost that emotional release.
Yeah.
And Kitty, who's the creator of March 4th, she had said like, guys, it's an emotional day. You don't realize it until you're at the end of the day. And she was like, you're going to have an emotional hangover. And I was like, oh my God, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, we did.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're just hearing the most heartbreaking stories and you're putting yourself in that situation and you're just like, I don't know what I would do. And I also like the strength of these people to show up.
Oh my God.
And to recount these horrible, these nightmare situations in front of people they don't know and to like just lay themselves so bare, to be so vulnerable. It was like, I could cry right now just thinking about it, like just the strength and the bravery and the courage to do that. It's so inspiring, but it is just very heavy. But it is what has to get done in order for change to be made. And it was an honor for us to be a part of it. And it was an honor for us to be able to speak with these people. And that's why we want to do everything we can to push the needle forward and to make this change. And like Hunter said, I think that was such eye-opening for you, I feel, because it's like, the world makes people think that government officials are, like you said, untouchable. They're literally people that we elect. They're just people. They're dads, their moms, their daughters, their sons. They're people that we elect to represent us.
Yeah.
And there's way too much like mystery and like, oh my gosh, like like they're people and you have every right to go up to them and say, hey, I'm not okay with the way things are being done and I want things to change. And all of these people agree with me. So that's really what it needs to be about. And we need to stop being like afraid. Another thing is just educating yourself on all of these things.
That's
Educate yourself. How is a bill passed? How is a bill made? How are things changed? You know, like what is needed in order to make real change happen? And just really dig in, do your research, make sure that you're paying attention to local politics. I think that's another thing that's really been sort of forgotten about is local politics, like who's your governor, who is your, all of that is so important because it all trickles up and down. And so, you know, again, very moving, very important to us. We're very passionate about it.
Yes.
We won't keep harping on it like forever, but we want, you know, we want to be able to use our platform for this, you know?
And don't forget that you guys have, make sure you're registered to vote. Make sure you get out and vote when the time comes. November 3rd, or November 4th.
For Martin's birthday, the night before Martin's birthday, November 4th. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know. Every election year is such like a bummer for him because it's his birthday and then it's election year.
Well, hopefully it'll be a good birthday. And then after that, you know, we drove home. And now the drive home was supposed to be 3.5 hours. It took us 6 because why? Because we drove
at Target
with someone with a bladder the size of a pea.
I did.
The way this chick has to pee is incredible.
I mean, I just
no doubt. No doubt.
How do you do? Is there like now that's a catheter, right? You could do a catheter.
I love a catheter.
I love a catheter.
I got a catheter when I was in the hospital with my kids, and people are always like, "Oh, this is the not fun part," and I'm like, "No, I love a catheter."
I've had a catheter. I don't fully remember it because I had surgeries.
Yeah,
and so I don't fully remember the catheter vibe.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have to pee and then you pee, or does it just take it out of you?
Takes it out of you.
No, that's what's up.
Yeah, you don't feel it. Nothing. Like you don't feel like you have to pee or anything.
I could get done.
I know
the things I could get done if I had a catheter.
I will say this: my catheter was bursting at the seams. Like literally, Brian had to be like, her catheter like bag is very full. Like time to change it.
That is so funny.
But I love a catheter. Oh God, they should have just some that you could just put in and take on out,
especially for a long drive like that.
We also stopped at Target because we thought we deserved a treat.
We did, us deserving a treat. But like, you know, when you're like, sometimes you just need something silly.
And you need
like,
you just need like a different Target too.
Yes. Also, Maryland, I will say, has such fire Targets for some reason.
Yeah. Well, the Target that we went to.
Because I've been to so many with Martin. Every time I go to Maryland, we go to a Target there.
Yeah.
And they're always so good. They're way better than the ones in my area.
We found some good stuff. So I got little boots and we both got a bag. And we just thought we needed a treat.
Wanted something like silly. Like we just wanted to like have like a fun moment because we just needed like a little like, whoo.
Yeah.
Quick reframe, run through Target, grab a Starbucks. You guys know the vibe. You girls know the vibes.
You know the vibe. And then you have to grab like something sweet for the road, something salty.
Yes.
Then you might have to stop. But anyways,
get some water, get Diet Coke.
Yes. We had all the liquids. No wonder we had to pee so much. We ended up in Delaware, which is not a state. And
we have confirmation because
many Delawareans.
Yes. People from Delaware literally responded. We posted a story saying we're in Delaware, which was, we weren't sure how this possible. Delaware's not real. We had so many people from Delaware saying I live here and it's true. It's not a real place.
I will say though, Ashley from Girls Gotta Eat, shout out to you, Ashley, because, and I love you, but I had many people say, well, Ashley's not gonna like this because she's from Delaware and she loves Delaware. So Ashley, Delaware's not a place, but I love you.
Prove it.
I love you.
I call you out on the floor right now and you have to prove that Delaware is real.
Even though
I was there and it still isn't real.
Even though we were in it, we were in the absolute just side winding road because you know that a navigation loves to take you. A navigation hates to see the correct way coming.
Navigation hates to see the correct way. It's so true, dude. Navigation absolutely despises a sensible one-way direction.
Hates it. So
we were on like school roads. We were like going down like
nothing made sense.
Residential, and then we were going into like industrial areas. I mean, I was so confused where we were going. We got off here's the thing. Here was where we fucked up. We got off the freeway at all.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the second you on a road trip, if you get off the freeway, the world goes, okay, no more freeway for you. Okay, you decided no more freeway? Okay, no more freeway for you. We're going to take you every other way, but not the freeway.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
It's giving making decisions for us. And I don't like that.
I don't like that at all, dude.
I don't like that. So it took us about 6 hours to get home. And by the time we got home, it was just chaotic. We were so tired.
Oh, and I was so sick, you guys. I got really sick the night after the whole event. I think it was like I probably caught something, then I think just like the stress of it all probably just, I don't know, just exacerbated it. Maybe it made it come faster. But I remember, of course, I had like an absolute mental breakdown. I was like having Hunter hold my hand. I was like, will you hold my hand? Because I was just like so emotional, because you guys know I have really bad health anxiety. And so the second I get like a scratchy throat that I know is sick, I fall apart for like probably a good hour, and then Hunter talked me off the ledge, thank God. And
it's so funny how different we are, because it's like even you were telling me about your finger, and but that just goes to show like health anxiety is so real, because like I could literally have 103 fever and I'll be like, I'm honestly fine, like it's whatever.
I know.
I could have it for a week and I'll be like, should I go to the doctor or what? It's so like true. You know what I mean? And I know. But it just goes to show like health anxiety is so real.
It is. And it really just like, it can be. But I will say, having someone like you and someone like that around is actually nice, because you're like, so everything's fine.
I mean,
like,
you see my feet, you see my work.
You see my work. This girl's an absolute. She's your toe up from the flow up.
My feet are in shambles, you guys. I can't even show. Do not show my feet on this podcast.
I'm gonna see that
because I have a pretty good wiki feet score, and this is just gonna be detrimental.
Dude, that's gonna fuck your score up.
I know, because they're cuckoo.
Yeah. But no, and so I was sick, and so I drove home pretty sick, but it was fine. You're just sitting there, so it's not the big deal. But of course, Hunter was like, I know that you are like the sickest you've been in a year. And I know that you drove the whole way here, and it's so fair that I drive home.
No.
But
I didn't ask for
I'm sleepy. So can you drive home? Because I'm a little bit sleepy.
Well, I knew that coming into this, I was going to be in full mom mode. And I was like, do you mind? You know?
Not the mom mode guilt trip. Not the mom mode guilt trip. Yeah. Well, it was definitely an experience. And then, so we got home, and then I was sick for the whole weekend. So that sucked. But now I'm feeling much better.
Yeah.
And I was able to hang with the kids and do all that fun stuff. And yeah, dude, we're going to go out to lunch today with some girlies. And yeah.
Such is life, guys. Thank you so much for hanging with us on this journey. If we can, I'm really going to look into seeing if I can share the Secret Service photos. Because if we can,
I've never seen finer men in my life.
Go to our Patreon, $5 a month, get you 2 episodes a month that are not available to the public. And you get our episodes a day early too. So that's that. Thanks for having a slumber party with us. Thanks for hanging with us, girlies.
Love
and
you
we'll
guys.
see you next time. Oh, wait, we have news.
Oh, yes, we have news.
Oh my God, literally the most important freaking part.
So you guys, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing some rewind episodes. We're going to be replaying our most popular episodes. Obviously, we gained such a crazy amount of listenership during the Summer of Self-Love. We have so many new members of the Goose Gang
also,
here.
thank you so much to all of you who listened to Summer of Self-Love, shared it. It was such a massive success. And we wanted to share a few of our episodes, which are about
sex. Of course, obviously, we talk all the things, but definitely sex, being plus size, sex, all those things, that is something that is such a topic that you guys really resonate with and that you guys want us to speak on. So we're going to do a couple of our most listened to episodes, rewinds, so that our new listeners can hear, and also so that we can prep you for the next little series that we have coming up.
Let's just say it's sexy. It's sexy, this next series, you guys.
It is sex-y.
And on that, we will leave you. See you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening. You can catch a new episode of Model Citizen every Thursday. And please don't forget to follow the podcast so you don't miss any of the action. We want to hear from you, so please leave a rating and review and follow us on socials for all the behind-the-scenes action at Hunter McGrady and Michaela McGrady. And don't forget, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are capable of doing all wonderful things. Bye, guys.